Hey, 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 wonderful humans. Welcome to Board Game Dads. My name is Anthony,
And my name is Eric.
and we are the Board Game Dads here with Eric. I'm very excited about this. A first episode of a new series.
Kickstarter Day!
Kickstarter Day 2022 has begun. Got a few changes coming to the channel, some new series, and this is one of them. We're going to be talking about Kickstarter Day, Kickstarters that we have recently acquired, maybe gotten to the table, maybe not have yet. But because we did a lot of backing back during the pandemic, there's probably going to be enough of these to do a few. So for now, it's a new series. We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
Eric, very first thing here. Do you have an honorable mention in this category, or are we just going straight to some picks?
Uh, I mean, I do, but they'll just have to wait for the next Kickstarter Day. Like I could talk about stuff I backed, or I could wait to get it and then talk about it.
Well, maybe we'll add a part to this where we talk about things that are
Are
on
you?
our radar.
I don't know if I'm backing anything now. Actually, that would be a good
Mm,
time to talk about it.
yeah, we'll do that for next time.
Yeah.
But for today, let's talk about some games that are in our possession, and you're going to kick us off.
All right. The first game that I want to talk about for Kickstarter Day is Momiji, which
Momiji.
Momiji. It's so it's designed by Dario Massarenti and Francesco Testini
Hmm.
from Dear Game or published by Dear Games, and those are fun names to say. This is a 1 to 4 player, plays in 30 minutes for ages 8 and up, set collection game with some hand management and card drafting. And
And this one you have not played yet, correct?
I have not played this one yet.
Okay.
I backed this solely on what it looks like. Like this is going to be a great game to talk about this fall.
Yeah.
It's got leaves, it's got acorns, it's got little wooden leaf tokens, and it's got cool scenery. Like this game, I saw it and there wasn't a lot of buzz about it, but I didn't care. It's got animal meeples, a little black cat that looks like my Lobo cat.
Nice.
His name is Lobo, not the Lobo cat sounds pretty cool. Kind of like Robo Cat.
Hmm.
Anyway, uh, I thought it looked really cool. I backed it. There was a few modules that you could also add, like add-ons, like for $10 you can get this other module where you can add this card, and you can get this one where you get this metal leaf,
Mm,
and I didn't get them. Usually when I back a Kickstarter, I'm just going to get like the deluxe edition with all the add-ons for the base game and stuff like that. But this one, I don't know that I'm going to like the game because it's set collection, which is hit or miss with me. And hand management card game, it might be great, it might
yeah.
not be. And I didn't feel like dropping an extra $20-$30 on the game just to get to be a completionist, right, and have everything, and then
Right.
play it once or twice a year. And whenever we play it, we haven't played it in so long that we don't want to add a module yet.
Right. Right. And if you do love it and you play it often, then you could always probably get those later. That might be something you pick up at PAX in a couple
Yeah,
years, something like that.
yeah,
But I agree, it does look stunning, and I had never heard of this game before. So when I first saw that photo you sent me, I was like, "Wow, this game is really cool looking."
yeah.
So looking forward to hearing your thoughts on how do you say it again? Momoji,
I don't know, but I think it's Momiji.
Momiji,
Yeah, that's what I call it.
Momiji. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so on to our next pick, and this one, I mean, look, I guess every Kickstarter I'm excited when it finally comes, right? But this one specifically because it's I'll get right to it. It's CoraQuest. This is by Dan Hughes and his daughter Cora designed this game together during the initial lockdown COVID-19 pandemic. And I remember seeing the evolution of this, right? Because
Yeah.
we've seen them on videos on Board Game Breakfast and on their own channel discussing the evolution of this game. And we saw it from kind of the ground up. And now it's an actual thing. It's in our hands, it's getting played.
Yep.
And that's just really, really cool. that's only one of the cool things about this game. This one fires on a lot of cylinders for us. I think we're going to be talking about this game a lot in the future.
I agree. I will say this though, that the artwork in this, I love it. Not everybody's gonna love the artwork because this is a game that the artwork was designed by a kid who sent it in, and then they had an actual
Several kids.
an actual well yeah oh, right, and like a good artist take it and change it and make it look a little bit better and add some color here and add some shading and things like that, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
So
I think the artwork's great, but like I said, I can see if people are really hardcore dungeon crawlers, I can see them not really liking this. This is
yeah, but
a
that's not the audience for this game.
that's right.
That's
Right.
not the audience. This is a family game. This is a
Yeah.
game, and according to Dan, this is right from his website. This is a game designed to be played and enjoyed by parents and their children together,
Yep.
right? And so I actually counted because all the children's names are on the box that have some submission of artwork in this game. I counted 263 different kids
Whoa.
right, that was much more than I thought, including a couple that we know. Shout out quickly to Evan. Evan Diesel's joined us a couple times here. His two sons, Grayson and Finn, both have a hand in this. I'm not exactly sure which thing or aspect that was illustrated by them, but they're both on the box, so that was pretty cool to see.
Cool.
So again, to your point, these art selections were sort of from all over the world from kids, and then they did have a head. I think they called him the head colorer inner Gary King, who basically did the art direction to this, but he really did not change much in terms of actual illustrations, which is cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's only one thing that's cool. Modular board, dungeon crawl. It's a co-op game. It's got variable player powers. The list goes on and on. This one is definitely going to be one that we'll do a fax on, I think, at some point,
Oh,
especially
definitely.
after we get some more plays of it in. It does come with an adventure book that I believe has 10 different quests you can go on. And then also there's an app that I think lets you design your own either quest and or monsters and characters and things like that. It's kind of an open world thing at that point. Um, One of the things I did really admire again about I guess more specifically the graphic design of this is it's so cool to me that the standees have a rear picture, right?
Yeah.
Meaning
Yeah.
you turn around, it's not just the same in the front and the back, it's the actual back of the character. That's a little detail that is unnecessary, but makes it so much cooler,
Yep.
especially when you're talking about having standees instead of miniatures. I think the standees really, really work in this game, and it's just yeah, the whole design is a home run.
Now, I do want to point out one other thing, and this is probably just me, but for some reason, when this game was being talked about and when I backed it and everything, I was expecting this to be in a Ticket to Ride sized box. And when I got it and it was smaller,
Yeah,
it's what is it right here? This one right here, CoraQuest. That's clearly not Ticket to Ride size, and I was taken aback. Like I was like, huh, okay.
yeah.
It's still great. It doesn't affect the game or anything. I will say this though, Dan Hughes, who's probably not listening. You are a gamer. You know this box here is not the same size as any other game that I own. It's not an eyesore on the shelf, but come on, man.
That's
Like
gotta be there's no way that this is the only size box that this game is
now,
the only
I
size.
have not checked it with some of like the Haba games that I have. Those are on a different shelf.
Mm.
But unless it's the same size as some kids games,
Maybe it's designed for small hands.
still.
That's CoraQuest from Dan Hughes and his awesome daughter Cora.
Yep.
What's next?
All right, so our final game is Three Sisters. Now we
Oh
both
boy.
we both love Rolling Rights. My wife loves Rolling Rights. We've talked about this game in the past. I think when you backed it, you were talking about it.
Hmm.
and we finally got it.
Finally got
And
it.
we and so there it is. So there's there's a lot. There's you have two sheets, right? There's one on the right, one on the left of this picture, and they both have a lot going on in them. And then you have this kind of central board in the middle, which is a rondo. Uh, Actually, before I get into it, this was designed by Ben Pinchback and Matt Riddle, and published by Motor City GameWorks. It plays 1 to 4. It takes about 30 to 60 minutes, and it plays ages 14 and up. And this was all taken right off of Board Game Geek.
Hmm.
Anyway, so you have this little rondel in the middle that you're gonna be on. The little, I think Edith is like the black colored token with the hat on there. They're
Hmm.
gonna start somewhere. You're gonna roll some dice, and you're gonna put these dice out in the space that you're on, and depending on if you roll 5 5 or yeah 5 5s, you're gonna put them all in one spot, and everybody can
Right.
just take that one die and do that one action. But otherwise, you're gonna be putting them out in front of you, depending on how many different numbers there are in that many different spaces. And then the first player is going to take one of the dice, and then they're going to use the number on the die to color in a section in their garden, which is on the picture to the right,
Hmm.
where you're either going to plant a seed somewhere or you're going to water everything in that zone for the number on the die.
Right. So there's 1 through 6 zones on the top of that
Yep.
sheet, matching up with the die pips. And then, similar to Fleet the Dice game, which was designed by these gentlemen as well, you're going to be basically coloring in these, different rows of squares and circles to accomplish certain things.
Yeah, they're gonna give you points basically, and so that's the garden, and then you're gonna do your action for whatever the space is on, and that's probably gonna affect something on the rest of this page. You can go to
Right.
the
Right.
farmer's market, you can go to the apiary where you got bees and you can get, I don't know, stung. You got fruit. Well, so when we played, now we've only played this once. When we played, both my wife and I pretty much avoided the apiary,
Hmm.
because if you like the first 5 things that you put there, like the first 5 times that you go to the apiary, you don't get much.
Right.
But after that, you really start to. But that's it's a lot to on your first play, especially invest 6, 7, 8 in
Yeah.
that one area.
Yeah. It's definitely a long-term investment, but
Yeah,
it's one of the things that I think is going to be cool about exploring this game and playing it more.
right.
And again, that's one of the things I enjoy so much about Fleet the Dice game was that you can really experiment with different strategies and different places to focus. And there's some stuff that's immediately beneficial, and there's some stuff that you kind of, like you said, got to invest in and see if it's worth the time. So, oh, man, yeah, this game has so much to offer.
It's got a lot going on. It wasn't tough, but it was brain burning.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, all right, what do I do? And then you'll start to do stuff. And, all right, get some goods, and then you get a bunch of goods, and then you get a bonus action. Then you go, oh, you want to go and do this, and then you get a free flower action. Then you go to your flower action, and it gives you something else, and you just keep on going. And you can lose track,
Yeah, for sure.
but that's why you use pencil.
That's true. There's a lot of like when we play Fleet the Dice game, again, I'm gonna compare it often. There's a lot of way I'm not ready yet. Like I got 2 stars on this income track, so I got a couple things to fill in that maybe you're not doing, or I got this private fishing trip, so I need a couple minutes to finish filling in this stuff, and that's gonna happen in this game, I believe, as well, with so much stuff going on, right? And I love the chain reactions that these types of games are going to provide during
Yeah.
during the game. I mean, it's so satisfying, so cool. So that's Three Sisters. We should note the title is based on an indigenous gardening technique that involves these 3 types of plants. You've got corn, beans, and pumpkins, or some kind of squash that basically all complement each other in some way. The pumpkins have really broad, big leaves, so they shade the soil, which is nice. The beans bring in nitrogen, I believe, which enriches the soil, and then the corn serves as a stalk for the beans to anchor themselves to and kind of crawl up. So that's the name part of this, which is something I had to learn because I didn't know it.
I will say this about this game. It seems like they had this cool idea about how first you have to plant the beans, then you can plant the corn, and then and you can do pumpkins outside. And they
I
had
think
this,
it, yeah.
well,
Okay.
whatever, and so they had this core mechanism, and that was the basis for this game, right? And that's just the garden section. And then
Right.
they were like, "Oh yeah," and then we could add some flowers, and then we could add an apiary, and then we could add some fruit. And it just, oh, what about a shed? And it just got huge, and it probably was meant to start as such a small little game, and it just kept on coming up with new ideas and different stuff like that. And I like that. I think
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. It's really thematic. All the stuff that chains together makes sense. There's even you might see this game pop up on a lot of lists, especially around fall time. But there's even a little jack o' lantern carving station on the bottom of one of those score sheets, which is pretty cool too. So lots of ways to squeeze this game into conversation, which we love here at the Board Game Dads. In case you
Yeah.
haven't noticed.
I do. I want to point out. I don't know that you've used this before, but you have a cool dungeon background. And we
Well,
didn't even mention that while doing CoraQuest, the dungeon crawler.
I totally forgot. So this is my first time using what is actually a green screen. My neighbor gifted me for Christmas a green screen that attaches to the back of your chair.
Cool.
So it's a big circle. So if I do this, you can kind of see the. So I'm still hiding the under construction game room. So I thought I'd try the green screen thing.
Now, if you had another green screen behind that, would you have like a? Could you like get rid of the dungeon and then be in the ocean, or would it just be all dungeon still?
You mean if I like turn this way and there was a second green screen back
Yeah.
there? There would be, I guess, another. I don't know how that works.
Hmm.
I'm very new to the green screen thing. So any tips, leave in the comments. But I think it looks pretty good.
I think so too.
Something else to try here. Something else new for the 2022. All right, folks, that is our first ever inaugural Kickstarter Day video. Hopefully, there'll be more of those to come. And we do want to hear from you if you backed any of these games. And I mean, there's got to be other stuff that you're getting on Kickstarter that we did not get. So please, please, please let us know what those are. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what we're missing out on or some
Hmm.
stuff we should look forward to when it comes to retail. And that's that. Eric, anything else you want to add before we close the pledge level?
Uh, I mean, pretty much what you said. If there's something on Kickstarter right now that you think looks cool, like throw it down in the comments below. I'll check it out. There's that skateboarding game. Oh, you know what? I did
Yeah.
back a game recently. I have an honorable mention. We'll save
Okay.
save it for the end. Hike. It is
Ooh.
a dog sledding game, card game, and yeah
Okay.
you're coming up with a team of dogs, and then you're racing them. I mean, obviously, there's more to it than that, but it looked cool, so I backed it.
It's called Hike.
It's called Hike.
What's the meaning of that name? Do you know?
I don't,
I mean, is
but
that a
I would.
dog sledding term? I guess.
I mean, it's been ages since I was a professional dog sledder.
Mm,
I can't keep up with the vernacular anymore.
yeah, a lot changed over the years.
Yeah, but if I had to guess, I would say it's kind of like mush, but hike. Like, and I will say this: that there's a lot of emphasis on taking care of the dogs. It's not like
Okay, that's cool.
like whipping them, and you got to make sure you feed them and you spend time with them and you give them love, and yeah, so it's cool.
All right, there you go. Coming to a
Yeah.
Kickstarter Day video sometime in a couple years from now. Hike the dog
it
sledding
does.
game.
It doesn't look that. There's not that much stuff going on, so it shouldn't take more than a year.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Possibly the end of this year. Who
You
knows?
never know. You never
That's
know.
right.
All right, folks, that's it for this one. Thanks for sticking with us, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.